Procrastinators! Merry Christmas and welcome to the final day of the Nerd³ Awards for 2024. This is it. This is the game of the year. And I'm going to get through this as quickly as I can because I know there's a new Wallace and Gromit and Doctor Who on today and you ain't going to want to fuck around with this. And Grandma's probably listening and I've said fuck and she's gone woo and fallen over and had an episode. It's fine. Just say something gracious. She'll come back. Anyway, I'm going to narrow the field down to what I think were my top 7 games of the year and then they're just going to be eliminated until there is one left. For me, my game of the year is going to be one of the following. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Thank goodness you're here. Animal Well. Balatro. UFO 50. Indica. Or Tactical Breach Wizards. They are my top games of the year. But what was the game of the year? Let's find out. We're down to the top 2. Animal Well and UFO 50. Both incredible games. But who takes Game of the Year 2024? It's UFO 50. It's UFO 50. UFO 50 is my game of the year and a year of undecisiveness. This was the obvious answer for me. And also, technically, it's 50 games in one. It's kind of indecisive. Who cares about that? Anyway, UFO 50 has won this award for 2 reasons. First reason was I figured with each of the other games, we're going to get more games that are like that. You know, we're going to get more cool Tom Francis games. We're going to get more Yakuza games. In fact, there's probably been 3 announced since I started these awards. We're going to get Metroidvanias. We're going to get sort of interesting roguelikes. We're going to get spooky games. We're going to get funny games. But are we ever going to get another collection of 50 games? No. No, we're not. But the real reason that UFO 50 has come in first place is because initially, my plan for UFO 50 was to break it down into its individual games and see just how many of them I would give awards to. How many of those games would have got on my awards list just by themselves? And the answer was 8. 8 games in UFO 50 I thought were good enough to be considered standalone games of the year. And at that point, I thought, fuck it, let's just give it to UFO 50. And I'll tell you what those 8 games were. Number 1, Magic Garden, which is like Pac-Man mixed with Snake. You collect blobs, you catch the blobs, you avoid the mean blobs. If you miss, the blobs become mean blobs. It's a brilliant, fantastic, wonderful arcade game. But unlike most arcade-style games, it has an ending. And it's after, I think it's 200. If you catch 200 things, the game ends. Which means a high score isn't about playing it for as long as possible. A high score is about getting the biggest combo as possible. So it's about taking as much risk as possible, which is just such a brilliant twist. A brilliant twist on arcade mechanics. Absolutely loved it. There's Camouflage, where you control a little chameleon and you have to dodge the eyesight of predators by camouflaging yourself into the surroundings. You'll stand on some sand, you'll push the camouflage button, every game only has 2 buttons, and you will become sand coloured. You can then move about the sand as close as you want to the enemy and they won't see you. But if you take one step onto grass in their eyesight, you are going to get killed. You're going to get immediately killed. So you've got to find a blank spot to be able to turn into grass, to be able to come back in. And it's you go here, and you have to work out the path. But also you have to pick up a friend along the way, a little baby one. And that baby one changes tile based on the tile that it's standing on, not the one that you're standing on. So if you're on a sand and it's on a grass, you basically turn into 2 different things and everything goes wrong. Absolutely brilliant, short but sweet little puzzle game. Absolutely love Camouflage. Mortal! Oh my god, let's not forget about Mortal. Mortal is like Lemmings, but you only play as one guy at a time. So you start the level with 30 guys, and you need to keep as many of them as alive as you can. You can pick up pickups that give you more guys, but each time you basically use the guy's ability, that guy is then dead, and you have to get another one out. And so it's about getting through these levels while killing as few of your guys at a time. So you can blow yourself up to take some walls out. You can die in water, so your corpse floats and becomes like a little raft you can stand on. You can turn to stone, turn to a little stone block and stop enemies. Or everyone's favourite, you just shoot headfirst into a rock and embed yourself in it like an arrow, and then the next guy can use you to climb over a high wall. It is a brilliant puzzle game where I played levels over and over and over again just to try and get as many lives as possible to find the smoothest path through all of it. It's a bloody excellent little puzzle game now. Oh, so good. Lords of Disconia, which is like, it's an army strategy game where your men are discs that you kind of flick across the map at the other enemy discs. And when they collide, they do damage, but like an orc is like a big disc, and then a mouse is a little disc. So as much as it doesn't do much damage, it can get in and hit a few enemies at a time, versus an orc, which is, does a lot of face-on sort of damage and is good for blocking. Oh, it's brutally hard. When you get to the higher up levels, oh my goodness, the enemies can ricochet off of anything, bounce 4 different times and hit you square in the chops. But it is absolutely wonderful strategy, and you even have an overworld battle screen where you sort of buy your reinforcements, and depending on what the landscape looks like where you actually start battling depends on the biome you then battle in, so the strategy and where you actually start these fights as well. Genuinely brilliant game, genuinely fucking brilliant. Velgress, which is what if downwell but up. So you're leaping about these crumbling platforms as this ever-rising spike roller waits for you. It only comes down to the bottom of the screen, so if you jump up, it follows you up, but then it doesn't keep rising, it just sits there and waits for you. But basically every single thing that you can stand on will crumble away, so you have no rest time whatsoever, and as you go, you unlock new abilities that last for that run. And it's all randomly generated, it's fast, it's frantic, and honestly, if they sold this one by itself, it would sell 1 million copies. I swear, it would just sell 1 million copies. It's so good. Party House, which is a deck builder, where a deck builder of sorts, where you're inviting guests to a party. You have 20 turns to throw the best party ever, but you need to be able to invite the high-profile guests to unlock that. So you gain popularity to invite new people, which gains you more popularity and more money. You spend the money to expand your house, and eventually, if you do it well and play your cards right, you will eventually make it. Or you'll invite too many troublemakers and get shut down by the police and nullify that turn. But that is a game that I have beaten. I've cherried it, which is when you do all of the basically achievements for the game in UFO 50, but I keep going back to it because it's just so Moorish. It's so fucking Moorish. That game is so good. Oh my god. Quibble Race! That's a brilliant one. It's a simple horse racing-ish game where you're actually racing these little alien creatures where you can manipulate your opponents, training up your own guys, and gamble everything on that final race, only to realise halfway through when your guy drops down dead that some prick poisoned him. I played this one on a stream with Rebecca, just by itself. I booted up UFO 50, but we only played this one, and chat gambled on races, and I'm going to say this now, we all learnt valuable lessons about gambling that day. Which is don't. And definitely never depend on me. And finally, out of these 8, Rail Heist. It's a little game. You break into a train, steal a target, and leave. That's it. But it's almost like an immersive sim. Like, you can break any wall, and you have to prepare your escapes and how you're getting in. You can't just get in, grab the thing, and, like, jump over the enemies, because they'll start going active and start shooting at you. One hit, and you're dead. You have to restart. So you have to think and plan and be ready to spring into action when something doesn't quite work the way you wanted it to. That one is excellent fun. They're all excellent fun. UFO 50 is such an incredible collection because there's games in there that I've barely touched still. There's games in there that people absolutely swear are fantastic that I've not really tried. What a collection. What an incredible collection of games. But those are the 8 that I thought, from my personalness so far, would easily go my Game of the Year. And so UFO 50 wins Game of the Year. We are never, ever, ever going to see anything like it again. And I'm not surprised. It must have been a bastard to make. But that's it. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching these awards. I really hope you found some interesting new games you may not have heard of. And yeah, I'm considering this year a return to form for the channel. Next year's plan is just maintenance, maintaining this level of videos, this output, and just keeping this momentum going. You know, I've really enjoyed this year, and I kind of think it shows off in the videos and stuff we've made, and I really hope you've all had a good time and enjoyed it all. But from me, from Rebecca, from all of my silly little animals, have a wonderful Christmas. Go and enjoy Doctor Who. Go and enjoy Wallace and Gromit. Go and enjoy whatever the fucking company you have round. Eat too much. Feel a little sick. Play with your new presents. Read your new books. Have a wonderful time. Love you all. See you later. Ta-ra.